Hello little one, today we are taking a look into an old childhood favourite of both mine and your dad's, and was also the very first game one of our viewers, DexterNova, ever played, and that game was Alex Kidd in Miracle World on the SEGA Master System.
絶好調のメガソフトアレックス・キッドのミラクルワールドアレックが繰り広げるスリルとサスペンスの大冒険超ウルトラアドベンチャーゲームアレックス・キッドのミラクルワールド
Alex Kidd in Miracle World was first released in Japan for the SEGA Master System on 1st of November 1986, followed by America a month later in December. However, I was unable to find info on when in December it came to the US. It took close to a year for Alex Kidd to release in Europe, hitting UK stores September 1987. Again, no exact date could be found. South Korea had to wait 2 years for Alex Kidd to release, dropping on October 1988, and 3 years if you lived in Brazil, releasing somewhere in 1989. There appears to be no info on which month in 1989, however, it released in Brazil, so if anyone watching this knows when it was released, please leave a comment below, as the info regarding release dates is pretty vague. In 1990, 4 years after the game's initial release, Alex Kidd in Miracle World came pre-built into the SEGA Master System 2, the same time the upgraded console flooded the market. To play the game, you would simply remove any cartridge left inside and then turn on the console. Instead of loading the Master System screen like the original console would, it would instead automatically load Alex Kidd. This also meant the secret game Snail Maze was not available on the Master System 2. Eventually, come June 22nd, 2021, 35 years after Alex Kidd was created, Miracle World was remastered for Nintendo Switch, PS4 and 5, PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, featuring new levels, new NPCs, alternate boss fights, and an option to use the old retro-style graphics or the new updated graphics. Costing £15.99 on PlayStation stores. It was initially planned to release June 24th, but I guess they finished production a little sooner and so brought it forward by 2 days. Sadly, I was unable to find the game's original price when it was first released in the UK back in 1987, but I did find the average cost of Master System games. On average, games cost roughly £30 to £40 back in the day. Today, in 2024, Alex Kidd in Miracle World costs anywhere between £31.88p to a staggering £2,495. The new remastered version, however, is much cheaper nowadays, costing between 99p to £168.16p. But that might just be because postage from Canada to the UK is crazy expensive. Either that, or the seller is trying to trick people into paying more. I don't know, who knows.
Did you know?
Here's something that may take you a little bit by surprise. Alex Kidd was never originally meant to be who he is today. He was actually designed to look like Goku. In fact, the whole game was originally designed to be a Dragon Ball game.
I think you should probably go ahead and give up now.
You little nitwit.
However, during development, SEGA lost the license to Dragon Ball and had to make a lot of changes, one of which was Alex Kidd's giant fist, as it was originally going to be Goku's staff, the Power Pole, also known as the Nyoibo, if I pronounce that correctly. A quick look into Dragon Ball lore states this weapon was the Japanese transliteration of the Ruyi Jingubang, a weapon owned by the immortal monkey Sun Wukong, which later became a video game that I've yet to get my hands on and even have time to play. I really want to play it. The game was also going to be an action RPG and not the platformer that we know and love today. The game designer, Kotaro Hayashida, aware of the existence of Mario, did not wish to create a Mario-style game. During an interview, Kotaro stated that he set out to create a game that blended lots of different ideas together and was trying to create a platformer, adventure, and action fusion. SEGA did not order him to make the game in any particular way, rather it was several concepts he had envisioned in his own mind, and he was pleased to include every idea for items and vehicles he had into the gameplay. Alex Kidd was also meant to be the official mascot and face of SEGA, seeing multiple games of Alex Kidd hit the shelves. That is, until Sonic came along and stole the limelight with his bright blue colour, his random obsession for chili dogs, and his weird double-pupilled cyclopean eyeball. Seriously, what's up with that? I don't think there's ever been an explanation about it. I mean, there is no separation between his eyes. There's odd moments in cartoons where you'll see that his eyes, for a moment, are separated, and you have flesh in between the eyes, but other than that, there's nothing separating it. It's just one giant eye socket. Am I the only one who noticed this as a child? Sonic is a Cyclops. Wait a minute, it's not just Sonic. It's Amy too. And Shadow. And this guy. Anyway, back to Alex Kidd. The Japanese and early Western versions of the game saw Alex chowing down on an onigiri rice triangle, a Japanese snack made to be crispy on the outside. The dark square is dried seaweed used for added flavor, and inside the onigiri is usually stuffed with a choice of fish, such as salmon, tuna, herring, etc. It was only much later did the Western versions decide to change the onigiri into something more relatable, like a hamburger. I guess McDonald's was crazy everywhere, and maybe Burger King too, so it makes sense. It makes sense. We did have a McDonald's video game as well. The controls were also tweaked for unknown reasons, seeing the original version of the game use buttons 1 to jump and button 2 to punch. Yet, the Western versions not only changed the onigiri, but apparently flipped the controls too for some weird reason, using buttons 1 to punch instead, and 2 to jump. Lastly, there's always been one thing I always kind of thought about as a kid, and that's how both the main characters of Alex Kidd and this guy from Ghost House, they look strangely alike. It looks like this guy was just given a palette swap, maybe a huge wig, pointy ears. I mean, even their attacks are the same. But it's probably nothing that, they just took the same sprite and just changed it. But still, it does make you think. But that's all we have time for today, but stay tuned for episode 2, where we dive a little bit more into the game's lore, we take a look at the game's original manual, and then we do a full playthrough. Until then, let me know what your experience with the game was like in the comments below. And little one, stop swinging from the ceiling. Don't put bananas in your ears. And I'll catch you cool cats later. Bye bye.